Wholesalers beware. These 7 lists will end your wholesaling career faster than doing any other list for wholesaling. If you want a one-stop ticket to actually failing in wholesaling, these are going to be the lists that you should do. Now, you're watching this video because you actually want to become a successful wholesaler. And what I'm specifically going to do today is share with you the 7 lists that I see wholesalers fail the most with and honestly just get out of this business doing. But before I break it down, do me a favor, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, and let's get into it. So when you're getting in wholesaling real estate, you see a lot of videos, you see a lot of educational content. Heck, you've probably been through freewholesaling.com and you see the plethora of lists and marketing channels you can do to get started in this business. And I'll be 100% honest with you, it can get very intimidating. And that's why I highly recommend everybody getting started in wholesaling, start focusing on 1 to 2 things at most. Because once you start doing a lot, you can get really off track really easily. But specifically, there's about 7 type of lists that when I talk to a wholesaler that's on the verge of quitting or that quit, and the reason why they failed so bad in wholesaling is because they started focusing on these lists and they specifically only focused on these lists and it ended up destroying their career. So in no particular order, I want to break these down. And some of these lists are actually really good, but the wholesalers did something the wrong way with the list. So the first one we got to talk about here are the pre-foreclosures. Now, inherently, pre-foreclosures are actually really good lists to be wholesaling houses with. There's a ton of motivation. You can make a ton of money on the deals, and they're really not that big. Now, the big con for it is there is a lot of competition because it's really easy to get a list like this. But between you and me, if you know what you're doing on the marketing channel side, you should do fine. Now, here's the issue. A lot of wholesalers do the pre-foreclosure list, but they do the wrong marketing channel. And if you do the wrong marketing channel with a pre-foreclosure, it's like putting ketchup on a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Like, it's disgusting. Like, why would you do that? It just destroys the entire thing. And that's what some of y'all are doing. And I don't want to make you throw up by saying that analogy, but that's the way I look at it. If you cold call a pre-foreclosure list, you deserve to fail in wholesaling. I say it time and time again. Do not cold call a pre-foreclosure. This is the worst list to be going after and the worst combo with cold calling. Instead, you should reverse drive for dollars, text blast the list, or do some direct mail, or heck, even door knocking. But cold calling a pre-foreclosure list, I see a lot of you guys do it, and I don't see people doing well with it. I mean, there's some few and far between, but pre-foreclosure sellers don't like answering those type of calls, and they never really end up to good wholesaling deals. So everyone says, oh, I did the pre-foreclosures and it sucks, Zach. You don't know what you're talking about. It's because you cold call it, and I told you not to cold call. Number 2 here, this is the Zillow for sale by owners. And before you say, oh, Zach, you're such a hypocrite. You talk about Zillow for sale by owners all the time. You do live cold calling on Zillow for sale by owners. What in the world are you talking about, man? Well, let me be honest with you. Zillow for sale by owners was never meant to be the only list you should be going after. It's a great example. It's a great foot in the door. It's a great thing to get started, but it's not the cure-all end-all for wholesaling success. And a lot of you guys watching me, and probably you watching this video right now, you're using Zillow for sale by owner as a crutch. Zillow for sale by owners will not be the key for you making 6 figures this year. It might be the key for you getting your first wholesaling deal, but a lot of you guys are only doing Zillow for sale by owners because it's easy to just start calling off the bat. And you guys actually don't want to do the other lists that take a lot more work, but they end up getting more results. And I would argue Zillow for sale by owners is just a tool in your tool belt when you're going out here and doing the job or the work of wholesaling. If I try to build a house with only a screwdriver, what am I going to do? I need a shovel, I need a drill, I need drill bits, I need the whole entire thing. But doing it just with the screwdriver ain't going to get you anywhere. And a lot of you guys are trying to do your whole entire wholesaling operations off of Zillow for sale by owners, and that's not it. Zillow for sale by owners for your city or county is going to probably take you 7 days at most to get through. And then what do you do for the other 50 to 51 weeks out of the year? Give up? Like, it's ridiculous. I see so many wholesalers fail because all they do is Zillow for sale by owners and they don't do anything else. Of course, call your Zillow for sale by owners, but only do ones that are over 100 days old, and you gotta lowball them. And heck, when you're done with it, go to the other government lists that I always tell you to do, or even the paid lists. Stop being a sucker and do more than just the FSBOs. Number 3 here, this is a big one, but this is on-market MLS properties. And if you're watching this video and you get offended that I'm talking about on-market MLS properties, first and foremost, you probably never watched my channel, but wholesaling MLS properties suck. It's terrible. You have a gatekeeper for your deal, which is a real estate agent. Then I got to deal with a seller who wants the most of their house. And on top of that too, I got to handle closing costs. I got to handle the title company. I got to handle objections with the contracts. I mean, I got 3 objections off the bat. Title company, contract, and price with the realtor. The realtor wants to make the most money out here. Now, the only caveat for this, if you are in a state that lets you do dual agency, that is a good play to do. Even putting dual agency in play here, wholesaling MLS properties, you're still gonna have to make hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of blind offers and hundreds of hours of work just to get a deal, comparatively to probably 5 or 10 hours a week of work for just wholesaling off market. Yes, I get it. There's more MLS properties out there, but the amount of wholesalable homes, which actually have motivated sellers, and properties that you can get under contract for below what the actual value is like 10% of the entire deal flow is all through MLS. So yes, MLS deals probably have 90 to 95% of all the properties that are for sale, but only 10% of all wholesalable houses are on the MLS, and 90% of them are on off market. Duh. Now, I'm not saying you can't make money on the MLS. I make a lot of money at wholesaling houses on the MLS, but it's a very, very small, and I'm saying this example a lot, tool on my big tool belt. Number 4 here, this is going to be a very surprising one, but this is going to be the probates. Time and time again, this is the same issue with the Zillow for sale by owners. A lot of wholesalers out here will only do the probates, and that's all they're ever going to do, and only all they're ever going to focus on. And they know, I've said this a million times, probate should be a big priority for you, and it should be the priority list you should be going after. But if all you do is probates all day, every day, and you don't do any type of list, you're actually going to fail. The reason why probates work so much is it's a hard list to get. It takes a lot of time to get fruition on the deals, but again, you're making $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 on these deals, and there's relatively very little competition if it's hard to get that list, which is great for you as a wholesaler. But the big con is it takes forever to get the deals done. They have to go through probate. You got to deal with attorneys. You got a lot of messes to deal with. That's why you get paid so much. The issue is a lot of wholesalers, they'll pull the probates and then they want to get that money quick, fast, and as soon as possible. And that's not how probates work. These are deals that don't get you deals in like 30 days. Now, some of them do, obviously. A lot of these have a lot of time you have to go through. And really, a lot of people will do the probates. They'll try it for a month or two and then be like, oh my gosh, I got no deals. I'm getting no traction. I'm just going to quit. And if they just followed up and kept doing the probates over like a year or two, they'd be making 6 figures easily. So yes, do probates, but like the Zillow for sale by owner, add extra lists on top of that and you should do good. Probates in your city or county should take you at max 5 to 10 hours of work. And that's pretty much it. If I include cold calling, call it 15. You got way other better stuff you can be doing on top of probates. Number 5 here, and this is a big one, but this is just blowing your entire budget on a paid list with the skip tracing. Now, time and time again, the one moral of the story here is you guys are putting all your eggs into one basket. You spend all your budget, maybe $500 or $600 skip tracing a high equity list, and you're making that your cure-all be-all. And if that list doesn't hit, you're screwed and wholesaling is done for you. Guys, if you blow all your budget on one little thing, it's not going to be good. The best pound for pound way to spend your money is to drive for dollars and reverse drive for dollars. And cold calling is a great one. And I am a big advocate, even if you haven't gotten a deal, to go and pay for a skip tracing list from a quality provider like listrei.com or zachdata.com. I've never said I'm against doing that. But when you blow your budget and spend all the money you possibly have on a list, your expectations end up being really high for that list. And when your expectations don't meet with reality, you end up being unhappy. You guys got to remember this. This is a life lesson, but expectations minus reality will always lead to your happiness. And if your expectations are way overblown and your reality doesn't meet it, you're going to be upset and you're most likely going to quit this business. That's why if you don't have a lot of money, use a website like truepeoplesearch.com. Slow and steady and keep consistent with this business and you'll do fine. The men and women that consistently show up every single day and market to sellers do a lot better than the ones that go all out for a day or two and then quit after a week or two. You got to decide which type of wholesaler you want to be. Now, yes, you can make a bunch of money in under 30 days. Yes, that's 100% true. And I did that myself at 17, but you're never going to make 6 figures by trying to get rich quick. Number 6 here, this is one I always roll my eyes on, but this is the Fiverr lists. Guys, do not buy a list off of Fiverr. Pretty much all Fiverr lists, which are basically like an Upwork list or a list you get from a VA, is a list that got sent to them from their wholesaling boss, and they steal that list that person probably got off a batch or prop stream, and they're reselling that information to you. I've seen this time and time again where a VA will rip off a huge, massive wholesaler and then sell that wholesaler's list for like 4 cents on the dollar. And the problem is these are old recycled lists that you don't even know how old it is. And when you can't get a list from a trusted data provider or straight from the government or with your own 2 eyes on a drawing for dollars lead, I'm not going to trust that data. So don't do the Fiverr list. I see a lot of people fail doing it. And at most with Fiverr skip tracing, I've honestly seen 10% of them do well. And there are some people that love their Fiverr lists and they actually make a ton of money. I'm like, okay, fine. But about 10% of them actually work out. So I would avoid Fiverr skip tracing too. Number 7, last but not least here, this is the expired listings. Now, hey, I get it. Expired listings. The person wanted to deal with a realtor, the price didn't work out, they still want to sell it, and there's no realtor involved. This is a great list of someone that wants to sell their house. But here's the downside. 95% of the time on an expired listing, it wasn't the realtor that was crazy with their price. It was the seller that was crazy with their price. Because realtors will just want to get it on a fire sale and just sell the house so they can get their commission so the listing doesn't get expired. So they don't really care about the price anymore. It's the seller that's so stuck on a price that that's exactly why the listing got expired. So unless you can meet your seller's crazy price expectations, you're gonna be wasting a lot of your time with these type of lists. There's plenty of deals out there on the expired listings, but if I have to compare that with code violations, fire damage properties, high equities, evictions, tired landlords, I'm gonna take those lists over any expired listings at all. So guys, hopefully this was a big lesson, not to put your eggs all into one type of list basket or do the wrong marketing channels. And if you wanna learn exactly how to do the right lists, how to pull these lists for free, how to do the cold calling, the text blasting, the direct mail, absolutely for free with my free scripts, just go to my free wholesaling course, freewholesaling.com, and make sure you smash that like button, subscribe. It helps us so much to keep great wholesaling content that is completely 100% free on this YouTube channel for you. So I can go time and time again, week after week, and give you great wholesaling information. This is Zach signing out. I'll see you on the next video. Have a blessed one.